All right, thank you everyone who is here today to learn all about our Torch Award for Ethics. This is for the 2022 award because even though we're starting promotion now, starting to inform you now, the award itself actually won't be handed out until March. So that's why it's the 2022 award. And the rules have changed a little bit. The eligibility has changed a little bit from years past. So I thought I'd take today as an opportunity to go through those changes with you and hopefully inspire you to apply for this award. My name is Lauren Kirschmeyer. I am the one who manages this program. So if after today you have any questions about the process, anything you need to submit for it, or just questions about the award in general, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to give you my contact information at the end of this webinar. And yeah, I will leave time for a Q&A at the very end too. So a few quick housekeeping items. First, I am recording this webinar. So if you don't want your face to show up, you can just keep your camera off at this time. I am also going to ask you to mute yourselves. You can unmute at the end when we get to the Q&A if you want to ask me a question, or you can put it in the chat box and I'll check the chat box and answer those questions for you. But like I said, please keep yourself muted until that time. So right off the bat, what are the Torch Award for Ethics? Because maybe you've never heard of them before. This is an award that honors organizations whose leaders demonstrate a high level of personal character, ensure that the organization's practices meet the highest standards of ethics, and consequently generate trust with its consumers or customers and the community. The Torch Award embodies BBB's mission of advancing marketplace trust. Our award itself is going to be given out to someone, well, we have several awards and I'll get into that later, and it's given to individuals who are based in upstate New York. There are also other BBBs all throughout North America that also hand out the Torch Award for Ethics. And what happens is if you win one of our local awards, you can move on to the international award and hopefully win that as well. We actually had someone from our region who is based in Rochester, but they have several different locations in upstate New York. They won our award locally here 2 years ago, and then they went on to win the international award too. So what a great honor that could be for you and your business or your charity. Our application period for this year's award, it's going to open on December 1st, 2021, and it will close on February 1st, 2022. So you will have a full 2 months to get that information together and send it on over to me for hopefully your approval to move on to the judging. There are several different categories that you can apply for based on the scope of your business. So first, if you are a sole proprietor, let me just click. All right, there we go. So the first is if you are a sole proprietor. So if you are only a 1-employee business, then small business. So that's 2 to 9 employees. Mid-sized business, which is 10 to 49 employees. Medium, which is 50 to 99 employees. Large, which is 100 to 499 employees. And then last but not least is corporate, which is 500 or more employees. We also can give out awards for nonprofits. We have 2 different categories for that one. The first one is small nonprofit, which is 1 to 9 employees. And the second one is large nonprofit, which is 10 or more employees. With this, even though we have 6 different business categories and 2 nonprofit categories, it doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to be giving out 8 different awards. If there's a category that has several applicants for it, but the judges feel that none of them quite meet the standards that we have set for the eligibility and just what you send us based on the different criteria I'm about to go through. If they feel that you're just missing by a little bit and they don't think anyone deserves that award in that category, we don't need to award it. So any year it could range from 0 awards and it could range all the way up to 8 awards. So it depends on what you submit to us. So really pay attention to the notes I'm about to go through so you can really try and share with us your story and why you think you're deserving of winning this award. So first, eligibility and criteria. This is open to all for-profit 501c3 and 501c6 nonprofit organizations of all sizes located within upstate New York's 48 county service areas. So if you're not based in our 48 counties, then maybe you can apply for an award in a different region. BBB accreditation is not required, but of course, if you are, that holds to a completely different set of standards, which may potentially help you when it comes to the judging process. But you do not need to be accredited to apply. For-profit and 501c6 applicants must have at least a B rating with Better Business Bureau. So if you don't have that B, you're going to need to work your way up to earn that B by the time that the application period closes. This is open to 501c3 nonprofit applicants, but they must complete our charitable standards evaluation, that process, and meet all of our standards for charity accountability. So just like we want businesses to uphold our 8 standards of trust for the business side of things, charities also need to meet those standards in order to be considered. And organizations, whether it's your business or the nonprofit, you must have been in business for at least 3 years. If it's been before 3 years, then I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait until you hit that 3-year mark. The next criteria is that all financial obligations must be met, which means that if you owe, especially BBB, any money for your membership dues, then you want to make sure that you pay them off before you apply for this award, just because that does uphold your accreditation standard. Applicants are not eligible if they've received the torch award in the past 5 years. So if you are on and you've won in the past 5 years, unfortunately, you won't be eligible to win until a specified date, and I can let you know what that date is. But if you've never won, or if you've won outside of that 5-year gap, then you're welcome to apply. In the past, it was only 3 years, so that was a big change, that there's going to be an additional 2-year gap. Government agencies are not eligible to submit an application. And then a business or charity meeting these guidelines could also be nominated for the award. However, just know if you are being nominated for the award, you're still going to have to go through the application process and actually physically apply yourself as the business or charity. When it comes to the judging process, all entries will be evaluated by independent voluntary panel of judges comprised of business and community leaders. So in the past, we've had members of our media, we've had past winners judge, we've had individuals who are part of great charitable organizations in our region that are not affiliated with any of the applicants. They do fill out as well a form just saying that there's no conflict of interest with any of the applicants. And if there is, we make sure that they don't judge that category. We have a separate judge come in for that group. Your written submission, including all examples, stories, and documents, should provide a robust and accurate depiction of your organization's focus on character, culture, customers, and community, which I'm going to go into in a little bit. But in the past, the judges have been picky, saying, you know, I don't feel like they properly addressed this criteria. And because of that, I don't feel like they've earned enough points for me to judge them for that. And then that will dock that individual applicant's score. So you want to make sure you're sharing as much information as you can so that the judges have a better idea of what it is that you do in your business or your charity day in and day out, and why you feel that you are deserving of winning this award. All the supporting documents and attachments can range from handbooks, internal documentation, or photos from events. So there's several different parts of the application process. So I'm going to break each page down for you right now. So the first thing you're going to be asked to share with us is information about your organization. That includes your name, your address, your owner, CEO, or executive director's name, your email address, phone number, fax if you have one, your total number of full-time employees, your total number of contracted workers, your total number of part-time employees, how many volunteers you have if you have any, what type of organization you are. Give us a little description of your organization, the name and location of your parent organization if you have one, if you fall under that umbrella, and the organization contact email address, name, title, and phone number. So the person who was like submitting that form on your business's or charity's behalf. So that's pretty much just the basic information about your business or your charity. The next category is character. So as the CEO, president, owner, or executive director, your leadership character sets the tone of your entire organization. As a leader, explain how you behave intentionally and communicate with your leadership team, employees, customers, and stakeholders in a way that is consistent with your beliefs. And it will read just like this on the actual application form as well. I just can't show it to you yet because the application period hasn't opened yet. When you do address this criteria, you can describe how you strive to live and lead with high character and intentionally seek feedback in order to make personal improvements. You can share how you empower your staff to carry out your organization's commitment to building and maintaining ethical business practices, as well as the tools, activities, or training that reinforce your staff's commitment to character ethics as part of the organization's business practices. So what are you doing as the leader to help your employees have that character and show that you're an ethical organization? Criteria 2, as you see on the left-hand side of the screen, is culture. In this part of the application process, we want you to illustrate how your organization works toward a culture of trust through clarity of purpose, empowering employees, and opportunities for growth. With this one, we want you to describe how you unite your team around your organization's vision and mission statement, how you empower employees to help shape the expectations and culture of your organization, and what practices your company uses that demonstrates leadership's commitment to individual employees. So what are you doing to help build that company culture based on your ethics and your values? Criteria 3 are your customers. So give us examples of internal practices your organization uses to build better relationships with your customers. You can do this by showing how you empower your employees to proactively address issues experienced by your customers. So if an issue arises, how are your employees addressing those issues? How are you going above and beyond to maintain transparency with your customers? And share with us an instance where your commitment to honesty was a positive differentiator in a challenging customer interaction. Criteria 4 is community. So this is the fourth of the 4 C's. So community is criteria 4, and we want you to display organizational programs, contribution, and activities that return value and support to your community. So what are you doing to give back to your community that you're based in? This could be programs or events that your organization has in place to actively engage with the community, how your employees are encouraged to and are recognized for spending time in the community service activities that your organization and employees value, or your contribution of funds or in-kind services to community programs consistent with the organization's values. So what are you doing to give back, or how are you encouraging your employees to give back? And last but not least in the process, we just ask you for some references. So contacts who can vouch for your positive and ethical business practices. And of course, we want these to be real individuals who have those real business relationships with, not just a friend or a family member. A few quick additional notes for you. It is free to apply. So it does sound like there's a lot involved too, but you can begin your application at any time and then save it and revisit it. So if there's maybe a part of that you don't quite have right now, you can fill out maybe the beginning contact information about your organization and then go on with the leadership part later, the company part later, the culture part later. So you don't have to do it all in one sitting. But if you do, that was all the information that we'll be asking you for. Next is the judges are local business owners, community leaders, and journalists. Just like I said, we have a wide variety of individuals. We've also had teachers who teach business ethics in their classes come in and be part of our judge panel as well. Judges, as I mentioned before, can choose to give away no awards in a category, or if they feel two are equally deserving and they tied, they do have that option to give a tie to those two businesses and award 2 in one category if needed. Usually they're really good at breaking any ties, though, if they feel one stands out a little bit more than the other. Consumers and donors, like I said before, can nominate a business or charity, but that business or charity must then complete the application process that I previously spoke to you about. All of these notes will be available to you on bbb.org, so you'll be able to access the application and any other information pertaining to the award on bbb.org. but it's not available just yet because, again, the application process hasn't opened. I will be sending out this slide deck as well as this recording so you can refer back to it up until that time period. Last but not least, we'll be announcing our winners by March 1st, 2022. We also do inform the people who apply who don't receive the award that we did receive their application, we reviewed their application, and they just weren't selected at that time. So we do let you know either way if you win or if you do not win at this time. With that, that was a lot of information. I'm sure there's some questions out there. So if you do have a question, feel free to either unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat box. I'm going to open my chat box right now. Like I said, you can go back and edit any of your information until you hit submit. I won't accept it until I know that it's completely done and ready to go. I know last year too, there were some individuals who thought that their application was done. And when I was reviewing it, I saw that something was missing. So I do reach out to you too in that 2-month period, especially as we get closer to that deadline, where if I do see something is missing, I do let you know. So you have that opportunity to make up whatever it is that you're missing. How do we find out if we are in the window to apply? The application period will start December 1st. So you'll be able to go onto our website and we'll make sure we send that email out to all of our accredited businesses too. So you can go on, start your application process, and then it's due on February 1st. So you have 2 full months to get that information to us. So December 1st, 2021 to February 1st, 2022. That was a great question. Anyone else? Oh, you won in 2019. Okay, I thought your name sounded very familiar to me. So you have to wait 5 years starting with the year that you won. So since you won in 2019, you'll be eligible again in 2024. If I did quick math correctly. Do we need to have published practices with regard to employees or contractors? Do you mean in terms of we need to have published practices with regard to employees or contractors? Like, does it need to be in a handbook? Not necessarily, but if it is in writing in some way, shape, or form, if it's an email, a handbook, then you can include that with your application. If it's written out in some way, like I said, even if it's in an email that you sent out to all the employees, you can include a copy of that email in your application. Did you share what documentation will be asked for? So all of that anything that I just asked in the previous few slides is all that we'll be asking for. If you have additional documents, you're able to share those as well. There will be an option for you to upload any sort of documents that you want to share to help you if you feel like they're going to be beneficial for you in the award. All the attachments are sent online. Yes, if for some reason you're not able to access that, please reach out to me. You can email it to me if it's not uploading for any reason, because there's always going to be technical difficulties. I just had technical difficulties giving a webinar a few days ago. You never know when they're going to pop up. So if that does happen to you, for some reason they're not uploading, feel free to just email it to me and I'll make sure it goes in with your folder. Oh, Christine, thank you so much. She said, I've written several applications over the years, and in all, you have all been a great support in the process. Thank you. So I'm happy that you had a good experience with us. Okay, our company is 4 years old and we haven't had a chance to start community reach out as a company. We do as individual employees separately from the company, volunteer and offer to help put surrounding community. Okay, so that could count. Especially if you're encouraging your employees to do that, or if you're recognizing your employees, maybe if you're sharing something on social media or you're recognizing them in a company email, you can include that as well in that application process. So if it's not you, your company itself doing it, but you're showing that support for the people who are doing that, you can include that. That was a great question. Especially too, if you're a sole proprietor, that can be a little hard. What about testimonials? So that could be for the referral part. You can include some testimonials there and have just their contact information so that we can reach out to them if we have any questions or need to contact them for any reason. So that could be part of that testimonial, or you can include that in, let me go back a few slides. the part about right here, the customer part. So you might be able to upload it in that part. Reach out to you with future questions. Absolutely. Feel free to reach out to me at any time. Like I said, I manage this program. I'd be happy to help walk you through it. And I'll say too, with all the different rules that have changed and stuff too, I know like I myself still refer back to my notes like I just did for that last question. So I might need to look something up or ask someone else, but I am here to help you as that reference and get that answer for you. So if you are having any issues, please let me know. I'm your go-to person. My phone number, actually, I'll put it in the chat box too. I'll give you my cell phone number and then my email address. And that will go out. I'll have that in the email that I send you too with the recording from this webinar. So you can have it on hand if for some reason you lose it after today. Okay, any other questions? You've asked some great ones. And if not, that's okay too. Like I said, come to me whenever you need it. If I don't answer right away, I'll get to you as soon as I can, I promise. All right, I think that's it with the questions then. So feel free to reach out to me, like I said, anytime you need to. I'll get back as soon as I can with the answer for you. And besides that, good luck with your application process. I'm excited to see everything come through, to learn more about your companies, what you're doing for not just your employees, but your community. And yeah, thank you very much for spending some time with me this afternoon. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.